Captain, incoming message.
It was the dawn of the third age of mankind.
Groovy.
Hi-ho. This is me, Kermit the Frog.
Hello there.
Moopsy.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Not a great plan.
Program complete. Enter when ready.
Let's see what's out there. Engage.
Hey there, we're those Sci-Fi guys, and this is that Those Sci-Fi Guys show. Just two working dudes, different lives, different jobs, with a whole lot of love for science fiction and the fun that comes with. We're your hosts. I am P.S. McKay, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be like our last Halloween or first Halloween where we can't grab a pumpkin at all. Yeah. So.
And I'm DT Catman, and you can find them in the grocery store.
I know. We usually make a big deal out of it by going to a farm. We found a really cool farm a couple years ago that we've been going to the last couple of years, but
I see.
Yeah, but the kids it's just so busy this year. Like, and my son actually is going to be away on the one weekend his competition marching band isn't competing. He's actually going to be away in the Bay Area for a robotics competition. Yeah, so
robot.
That's right,
band.
ladies.
Got it.
That's right, ladies. He's free. So,
Doesn't sound like he is free.
no, it's true. He's not. How you doing, DT?
I'm good. I'm good,
Good.
man. It's always good to be on here. You know,
Yeah.
it's busy. School and, you know, kids' social activities, as you were just saying, but it's also getting busy entertainment wise. You know, if you are a fan of network shows or even some of the streaming shows that drop consistently at certain times of the year, there's a lot hitting right now. You know, you're getting new seasons of TV shows dropping, along with new shows premiering on the old network scale, but also some like I watched Tulsa King on Paramount Plus, and they just dropped that a couple of weeks ago. Good working on that one. I like that one. I'm looking forward to once that ends in November. The second season of Landman is coming on. Happy about that. But last week was New York Comic Con.
Yeah. They made some mentions about a couple things, didn't they?
Yeah. And Paramount and company dropped 2 trailers last week. The first of which, it's Starfleet Academy, like a full trailer that shows a little bit of some plot structure, including the main villain played by Paul Giamatti. You get to see a little bit mixed in and out of the people who were involved in the show, including returning Star Trek cast members Tig Notaro, Mary Wiseman, and Robert Picardo as the Doctor in the 32nd Century. So that is interesting. They also have Holly Hunter, who's one of the leads. And of course, we mentioned Paul Giamatti. So there's definitely some not only star power, but Star Trek power in this. I mean, we're not 100% sure what it's like and what it'll be, as you can only guess from trailers, but there's some things to be interested about. There are some questions that you have based on your pre-existing notions of Star Trek history, like, did they develop a female Jem'Hadar? And
Well, who brought that up?
But there's also, they've reintroduced the Klingons to the 32nd century. So appears to be a Klingon hybrid of some variety.
Yeah. He is a hybrid. I forgot what he's a hybrid with.
Gorn, I think, isn't it? It's Klingon and Gorn, isn't that it?
Oh Christ, that would be terrible. That first of all, that could never happen. Like you're talking about a mammalian and reptilian DNA. That doesn't work. Like it's questionable enough at all that interspecies could commingle genetically like that. They explained it in TNG's The Chase with a common genetic history.
Yeah.
You know, with the first race or whatever.
That's why every species has a Jeffrey Combs.
That's exactly right.
Sometimes multiple.
And yeah. But you can't, I mean, reptilian versus mammalian, and I'm going off of mammalian because Klingon women have mammaries, so that they so elegantly displayed.
That's what the Duras sisters
they so elegantly displayed it quite classily too, if I might. Jesus. Oh God. You know, if I was one of those actresses, first of all, if I looked like that actress, I'd probably want to show the goods too, but I couldn't imagine being like that, like just having it out there, and it would be cold. Just, you know, that center of your chest plate just is open, like just uncomfortable. People looking
I
like
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll buy that for $1,000.
Ugh. I mean, even at the delicate age of 12, seeing that costume, I was like, "Come on, this is too much, guys. This is too much. This just doesn't. No, Ryza maybe, but not. It's just a target point for warriors at that point.
You don't think they didn't notice that? The Duras sisters were very much into
seduction
and
using wiles. Yes, I'm aware. As far as we know, that it was only the Duras sisters that dressed that way.
Well, we didn't have a ton of female warrior main characters, so to speak. So
Lursa and B'Etor.
No. Anyway, interesting things coming there. They also showed an extended clip of Strange New World Season 4. Not a trailer, but like half a scene was like 2 minutes long. As they're observing some spatial anomaly.
Sounds enticing. Like, was there an implication as to like they were about to enter into danger? Or
yeah, well, they get a distress call from within this anomaly, and they go in to investigate, and the anomaly, of course, intensifies, and it ends up with like a kind of a Starship Down kind of thing where it looks like power's knocked out, and they're trying to figure out how to, get the Enterprise back on its feet. A tried and true Star Trek episode. The Enterprise is disabled in space, and how do we figure out how to get out of it?
Before an anomaly, explodes.
Right.
I gotcha.
Yes. It's happened to many an Enterprise.
Pretty much every one. I mean, even an Enterprise C.
Yeah.
In yesterday's Enterprise, man. I'm trying to look for examples of Lursa and B'Etor in Star Trek Generations, and there's so many photos.
Just stop, dude. You're going down the rabbit hole.
Oh, well, that's too bad. That's too bad.
Now, the one trailer that dropped last week, it wasn't Star Trek, and I was really looking forward to it. Boy, that guy behind Soren over his shoulder looks really pissed off.
His face looks like putty, man. That was really definitely, that was makeup that they were like, you're only in the background, you're not saying anything, so we're just gonna mush it on.
But one of the trailer I was most excited to see, not that I wasn't excited to see these other two things, because I clearly watched them, but they dropped the full trailer for the upcoming HBO series, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh, shall we watch it?
A sequel to House of the Dragon and a prequel to Game of Thrones.
Let's see. I'm pulling it up right now. Bear with me.
And I have read the Dunk and Egg novella. They're quite entertaining.
Sorry. I've got it
and,
right.
We're at a point in history where the dragons are now gone. And there's not any, there's very minimal magic within Westeros by this point.
That's true. Magic in Westeros was not really much of a thing. I mean, it was there, but yes. So, I mean, it did exist, but it wasn't.
Dragons seem to be a focal point in the world of Ice and Fire for magic. So when Aegon and the Targaryens conquered Westeros, there was still magic because they had dragons. But remember, throughout Game of Thrones, you have the children of the forest, thought to be mythical creatures, but they have their own magic. You have the red priests and priestesses who can bring, birth shadow demons and bring people back from the dead. And of course, the Wall and the White Walkers, all of which deals with magic.
Yeah. All of it.
And there's others in there. Those are the ones that you see a lot of. But this is a point in Westerosi history where all the dragons have died off. And this is still like 75 plus years away from Game of Thrones, where magic starts coming back to Westeros.
So House of the Dragon, how far back in time is it from the pilot of Game of Thrones?
150. Almost 200 years, actually.
That's a significant time jump. Okay. And then we jump 75 years ahead into this.
Yeah.
So is House of the Dragon still going?
Yes. So right now what it's looking like is, and because a lot of people have gotten really pissed with the time between seasons. So right now it looks like there's going to be A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which will drop in January. And then January or whatever the following year will be the next season of House of the Dragon, season 3. And then because it looks like HBO is going to rotate every other year.
This is stupid. I mean, I get it. They're doing it, but it doesn't need to be an every other year thing if you know that the season is freaking renewed for that other year.
Well, what it's going to be is they're going to rotate. So it'll be A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms next year, the following year. It's a way for them, I think, to cover their ass because of how expensive and how long it takes to film these seasons.
There's a reason why things are so expensive, and it's not because of what it looks like. I can freaking guarantee you that. I mean, I can't really explain that much further because I really don't have facts, but there's a lot of money embezzlement happening in Hollywood right now, and they just say, it's just such a complicated production. You were able to make like 53 episodes of F Troop within 4 months, so stop it. And that first season of F Troop was actually very high production. So
I loved that show.
That was like a staple for me to stay up late at night during the summer and watch.
Yeah. So the Dance of the Dragons, which is the premise of it's the war that the House of the Dragon is based around, is about 130 years or so after Aegon begins the conquest of Westeros, right? So everything after Aegon's conquest is AC in Game of Thrones. And Game of Thrones, the main series starts at almost 290 something years after Aegon's conquest. So Dance of the Dragons is about 130 years after.
Hold on.
The land.
Tucker, no. Come here. Tucker, come. No. Tucker, come. Tucker. Tucker. Get over here. Tucker. Get over here.
While Mac is now dealing with some
Possum. There's a possum.
animal control issues.
Tucker.
We have A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which follows the tales of Dunk and Egg. So things are. Yeah, so I think we're going to pause here for a second. Okay, good.
Okay, so my dog just tried to attack a possum. Whew.
Sorry. I think next time try mute. You were pretty loud in the background. It was hard.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. He was about to be bitten by a possum. I don't know if that possum is safe to be bitten. I'm sorry.
I don't disagree with you. I would just take note of where we are in our.
Sorry. Anyway, dog's fine, I think.
Good.
Wait, did he demonstrate any bite marks? Has he demonstrated any bite marks? Okay. I just don't want him. I'm recording right now. So looks like I'm going to be editing post after this, everybody. Okay. No, it's fine. I'm worried about possums. First of all, he wasn't acting like a normal possum. A possum should have run, and he didn't run. He actually confronted him. So possums don't do that. But they're pretty vicious too. So stop it. All right. Thank you. 5, 4.
Well,
anyway, Aegon.
Aegon's conquest, right? That's kind of like their ADBC timeline in this world.
Yeah.
So, this the Dance of the Dragons, which is the theme of House of the Dragon, is about 130 years after Aegon arrives in Westeros, and about 70. Looks like about about 70 years or so after the Dance of the Dragons is when the events of A Dunk and Egg, or A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, takes place. And that is another I would say 80 years to 85 years to when Game of Thrones starts. So
right. Okay, so let's watch the trailer. I am a Game of Thrones person. I am not a House of the Dragon person, just because we just didn't get into it. It didn't. I mean, it had good reviews. Don't get me wrong. It just didn't have the same pizzazz or riz.
It does have the same theme song, though.
Does it really? Like probably jazzed up a little bit or different,
Nope,
right?
the exact
Really?
same theme song. Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
it actually helped me settle into it pretty quick.
Nice.
That, and I've read. So George R.R. Martin wrote a book called Fire and Blood, which was supposed to be part 1 of 2, which is supposed to be the chronicle of the Targaryen dynasty, right? And the Dance of the Dragons is like a chunk of part 1 of this book. And then Dunk and Egg, which is these where other novellas take place, which would their timeline would be in part 2 of Fire and Blood if he ever gets to that. So he wrote like 3 Dunk and Egg novellas, and you're going to have here A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and I'm excited because I enjoyed it. But if you go ahead and watch this.
Yeah, let's do it. This is a blind watch for me. So here we go. Can you hear it?
I was squire to Sir Arlen of Pennytree since I was a boy. He charged me to be a good knight, to defend the weak and the innocent, and I swore that I would.
Are you Baelor Targaryen?
No.
Then would you move the fuck out of the way?
Yeah. Sorry.
What's your name?
Sir Duncan the Tall.
Never heard of him.
Do you know every knight in the Seven Kingdoms, then?
The good ones. If you could bring me to Ashford, I could swipe you, sir.
Rob me, and I'll hunt you down with dogs.
You don't have dogs!
I'll get some.
Where?
Oh!
A lot of humor to it.
Boys, stop gaping. Sleep on my horse.
I'm not a stable boy, my lord.
Not clever enough.
I know I'm just a hedge knight, but sometimes I think there could be more.
Why do you treat these royal lapdogs like they're your betters?
They are my betters. These men have a name. I'm trading. What chance do I have? I have no chance.
Falling star brings luck to those who see it.
So the luck is ours alone? I need to fight honorably. But sometimes I think I buried my courage alongside the old man.
And in every man, there are many men. So be brave. Be just.
Get up!
Be tall.
All right, Irish Game of Thrones. You got me. Damn it.
So I saw an interesting review. One, a lot of people are very excited about it because the Dunk and Egg novellas were very popular. And
I swear to God, if Egg gets killed, I already am in love with that young whippersnapper. I swear to God, I will. We riot if Egg gets killed.
If they kill him, it would completely undo everything George R.R. Martin ever wrote. I will just put it that way. But
okay.
The Duncan novellas were very, very popular. And yes, there was some humor in it because Dunk is a guy trying to, a hedge knight is a knight that is not in service of anybody. But he is a knight, and they go around. He's trying to find his way in the world as a knight, but he's not really the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's a man of good character and principle. But
definitely
as
tell
you'll
that.
see, but you see,
And
there's
by the way, that's amazing armor.
Yes, that would be a Targaryen.
Oh, you don't say.
Well, there clearly you can see a kind of a dragon visage there. And if you zoom,
the blonde
if you
hair,
go back a little bit,
kind of gave it away too.
Exactly. The blonde hair, right? The silver white, as they like to call it. Anyway, I'm very much looking forward to it. But I did see some comments. First off, George R.R. Martin came out and said he's very excited for this. He really likes it because it's amongst the most faithful to any of his works done. So that's cool. That should give you some credence.
Well, I mean, that's encouraging.
And I saw a few other memes out there, and one of which has been kicked around a few times, is like, this is Game of Thrones basically without a lot of, there's not magic. He said this is basically something that could have been in our own Middle Ages.
I would agree with that.
The first novella takes place purely at a tournament where there's jousting, and,
well, it's a Knight's Tale.
Combat. Right. But more.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, it's in the world of
kind
Game
of funny
of Thrones.
that Knight's Tale also featured the future Robert Baratheon.
Oh, that's right. It did, didn't it? It did. Yeah.
And clearly some names have shown up here. You have some Targaryens. They name dropped a Baratheon. So you're going to see and hear names, familiar family names in the show. Obviously not characters that we have seen before. There's a few that you may have heard name dropped in various things otherwise, but it looks pretty good. If they generally keep to the novellas, I feel that it's probably going to be, I doubt there's going to, I don't recall there being a whole lot of adult themes in those. So it's probably just going to have violence and swearing.
Well, here's what I would argue. Okay. And I think SNL, I'm going to give credit to SNL on this one, where they kind of summed up how HBO works. Like, HBO is a pay channel, so they're not covered by the FCC for, swears or nudity and things like that. So what they did was, when they had original shows up until Game of Thrones and through Game of Thrones, like, what enticed people to watch these shows was a little skin and risque scenes. And sure. SNL made fun of it, where they had the 13-year-old consultant on Game of Thrones saying, "You got boring dialogue? Well, have in the background 2 chicks." I'm not going to finish that, but it's a thing.
The Simpsons took a whack at it too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Skinner's watching. You can definitely sounds like he's watching Game of Thrones, and his mother comes out. "Are you watching a booby show?" And he's like,
"Yeah,
no, this is award-winning television." She's like, "This looks like a booby show." He's like, "Not since they started winning Emmys."
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But ever since like 2012, HBO has started to move away from that level.
Well,
because streaming has become, it's not such an obstacle to pay for a channel now like it used to be, because everyone pays for streaming in some form or another, and it's you're not paying for a channel anymore, you're paying for a streaming service when it comes to HBO. So the mentality has changed.
Sure.
So I mean, what was my final point? Yeah, no, I agree. You're probably not gonna see any boobage.
So. Well, there wasn't really anything like that in the novellas. So I wouldn't say it's, out there, but I would say it'd be unusual.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, I would agree.
Look forward to it. There's clearly some big name things coming in 2026. We're looking forward to. Cool, but not spooky. But you know what is spooky? And I know because I started rewatching the movie this evening. This really was kind of spooky.
Sleepy Hollow. Tagline. 1999. Heads will roll, baby. Oh God. I should have brought out. I'm pretty sure I still have my ticket stub from this movie.
Did we go see this movie together?
No. We did not. We did not. Oh crap.
Oh. Maybe I saw it with James.
You might have. You and I only went to see Star Trek movies together.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I only dropped a penny. Thank God. Okay. No, I went to see this in the theater, and what was distinct about this movie was there was all this fog, and what felt like a full week and a half after this movie came out, my town that I lived in at the time, which was not our mutual. Oh shit! Here it is. No kidding. I got it. Huh, look at that.
Yes.
It was in perpetual fog in October, which was crazy. Look at that right there.
It would not have been October. It would have been November.
Was it November when it came out? Well, it was still super foggy. Anyway, this is my Sleepy Hollow ticket stub. Yeah, I still saved it. Whatever.
This movie came out almost at Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. This says 11/19/1999, Friday.
9:30
show, too. That was late.
Yeah, but it was opening day.
Yeah, it was. I feel like, my ticket stub history from high school indicates that I went to a movie like twice a week. Sometimes more. And we went to late shows, too. Like,
yeah.
What the frack? I saw an 11:30 p.m. stub, and I'm like, really? I had enough energy to do that?
and from like 17 to like, early 20s, of course you did.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
My son's about to enter that phase, by the way. He's going to be getting his driver's permit next month.
So let's talk about this movie.
Let's watch the trailer, shall we?
We should.
This is a good teaser trailer. I really liked it. It affected me. I'm playing it. It's playing.
Yes.
So, 2 persons murdered. Is anyone suspected?
Constable, how much have your superiors explained to you?
Only that they were slain, their heads found severed.
Their heads were not found severed. Their heads were not found at all.
The heads are gone?
Taken by the Headless Horseman.
We have murders in New York without benefit of ghouls and goblins.
You're a long way from New York, Constable.
Murder needs no ghost come from the grave. The assassin is a man of flesh and blood, and I will discover him.
Thanksgiving, 1999. Yeah, you're right. It came out in November, not October, but it was really foggy as hell. I saw this trailer. I'm like, I'm definitely seeing it at the time. Fun fact, this is the first live action production of The Headless Horseman where they didn't have to have someone wear a cowl over their non-head because they were able to use digital technology.
They did.
Well, yes, the green.
No,
thing,
when they faked out Ichabod earlier in the movie.
I literally just watched this on Saturday night. What do you mean when they faked out Ichabod in the movie? Because he had the dream sequence.
No, when Brom chased him like it was the Disney cartoon.
Yeah, but that was a dream sequence.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. I literally just watched it.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick scrub through. You keep going. Anyway, this movie came out in 99. R-rated movie. Tim Burton, by the way. And it deserved it.
A lot of beheading.
And blood spill.
Yeah, of course.
Lots of blood spill. And also they did mention that the wounds were cauterized, just like in 2013 Sleepy Hollow. Which I found to be an interesting little thing. Like the blades are heated when the act commenced. So
sure. A demon rising from hell. Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, you know, all right, let's talk. I mean, really, it's a whodunit story. It's a mystery about a bunch of murders that are happening in Sleepy Hollow, and Ichabod Crane. Go ahead.
Who is a constable from New York City?
Yep.
Is sent up to investigate, mostly because he's driving his superiors nuts.
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Yes.
He pissed off Christopher Lee. Just remember that.
And by the way, it was this movie that gained the attention of Peter Jackson to cast Christopher Lee in Lord of the Rings, by the way.
Well, makes sense there.
His career was floundering a little bit at that point. So that being said, this whole movie was a Harry Potter / Star Wars like preview of everyone. Like, I mean, Rita Skeeter is Mrs. What's her name? Katrina's stepmother.
Lady Van Tassel.
Lady Van Tassel, yeah, Katrina Van Tassel's stepmother.
Yes.
Dumbledore is the magistrate. The
Baltus Van Tassel.
Yeah,
his father. The magistrate is actually
Dursley.
There. Yeah.
Mr. Dursley. Vernon Dursley. Which, that's funny. Expensive movie. They built the whole town in England, and they built the woods inside of an entire set building in Pinewood Studios.
Yeah, they built it in an airplane hangar. It's part of the same woods they used in Band of Brothers to blow up.
Plausible. I mean, the behind the scenes stories were talking about how the set was invaded by birds and bugs that just made their they made their homes in there, and so all the birds that you heard
realistic
inside those woods were real birds. So it's interesting. But there's a big remark about how the town, the way when the actors walked through it, they basically said, "I feel like I'm walking through Tim Burton's head."
It sounds right. That's what it looks like when you walk in.
It literally does. And I'm just going to share this. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm scrubbing through the movie a little bit. This is the scene where Ichabod, they remake the scene of Ichabod being confronted by the horseman. But that's the, covered bridge, and he walks through. But look at that. I mean, it looks fantastic. That's a new bridge, and they made it look aged. And those are all real buildings there. They even had insides with several floors and stuff. It was a very expensive production. And I will just double check on this. I do not think it made money. And I think it was because of its R rating.
Well, it was about $100 million budget.
100 million.
To 100 million. And then it raked in 207 million.
Yeah, you really have to. So that means it got 100 million back, but then Disney also paid for actually this is Paramount, I think.
It is Paramount, yes.
Yeah, Paramount. Paramount also would have paid at least 50 million in marketing costs. So it lost $50 million on this. And that's being conservative in the approach for the marketing. So
the original plan was to shoot in Tarrytown, New York. But for some reason, they didn't think it was creepy enough.
Well, this town that they built was pretty freaking creepy, man. It sat in my psyche for weeks afterwards.
Well, they also looked at Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts.
Actually,
the living history.
That wouldn't have taken very much to redress, but I guess the Historical Society would have played hell with them. So
not for the right money. Especially
Old
not
Sturbridge Village. There's so much you can do.
Yeah.
That's an advertisement.
So they filmed a lot of this stuff in areas that the Phantom Menace had just left.
Yeah. Oh, and Palpatine was in this movie.
Oh, yes. Palpatine and Dooku.
Yeah, Dooku. There was also one other.
Ray Park.
Ray Park was. Oh, no, I'm not talking about Ray Park, but yeah, he was in it. There was one other Star Trek person.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
I'm sorry, Star Wars person. Crud. Ian McKellen. No, not Ian McKellen. What the hell am I talking about? Never mind.
Ian McKellen was not in this. Ian McDermott is who you're thinking of.
I am thinking of
Palpatine.
I know that. We already talked about him though. There was Casper Van Dien, Michael Gambon.
No, he was Starship Troopers.
Yeah, I know. Casper was pretty good on this too. He actually broke his thumb during the fight scene with the Headless Horseman, and he didn't want to have his scene cut short, so he just played through the broken thumb again and again. Yeah. And I respect that. That's a talent to your craft, or dedication to your craft. So
it is commitment. Well, I mean, and the interesting thing is so here you go, right? You're doing you're doing this film in London, right? And it's supposed to be 1799 upstate New York. So the fact that they do have some British accents actually isn't unrealistic, especially from perhaps the upper class.
It didn't take me out of it.
No, because there was still some plausibility to it, right?
Yeah.
Although seeing Christopher Lee yelling at, Johnny Depp with the American flags in the background was a little but I mean, it's still Christopher Lee.
Yeah, no, all true. Christopher Lee was literally the only person that could actually fight Chuck Norris and possibly win.
Yeah, well, let's not
Let's not let's not get too crazy.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying let's not get overly super philosophical, or we'll go down a rabbit hole that we can never come out of.
No, well, that's true.
One of the interesting things is like when Crane first shows up to the Van Tassels, and you walk in, and like there's all these old dudes who like looking around, and you're like, I've seen you play a bad guy, 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 just going around going, if I walked into this room, I would go, I trust none of you. And by the way, Michael Gough, who plays the notary,
you're
the
right,
one with
by the way.
With the eye.
I totally missed this. I totally missed this shit. I'm sorry. The one quick scene I probably looked away from, and I thought he dreamed the whole damn thing.
Nope.
So my bad. I'm sorry.
This is also an homage to what probably happened in the original story.
Oh yeah, totally. we talked about that in thorough detail. Yeah. When we reviewed probably the most faithful
plausible
adaptation of Sleepy Hollow, which was Disney's Ichabod and the Headless Horseman, or whatever it is.
Well, it was called The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Legend of Sleepy Hollow, yeah. So
with Bing Crosby as the narrator.
Yeah. Done during World War II. And so it was a Disney anthology shorts and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it was good. I mean,
it's fantastic.
People still watch it to this day.
I'm still gonna throw it on. Yeah,
of course you will. But you're looking around. You have Mr. Dursley, who everybody in Harry Potter hates. You have Ian McDermott, who is Palpatine to everybody. But you also have Dumbledore, right?
Mm-hmm. The second one.
Yes, the second Dumbledore. You have Jeffrey Jones, who plays a douchebag in everything, and who is actually a real scumbag in real life, playing the skeezy Reverend.
Was he the one that was dealing with people that were a little too young?
I do believe that was possibly it.
He was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right?
Yeah, he was the principal who was after Ferris. It was really good in that, but of course, as I said, he always plays a scumbag or a dick, right?
Yeah.
But the other guy in the room was Alfred from the Tim Burton Batman movies.
He came out of retirement for this movie.
And he was great too. He had that kind of like the creepy guy in the movie who's like, I know the truth.
Yeah.
They gave him a moral eye too, just to add to the character. It was great.
Yeah.
Every single one of them had terrible wigs, and I think it was done on purpose.
Well, of course. And then we have Christina Ricci, who this is like she was cast against type at this point. So as a blonde and as a girl, she dabbled in witchcraft, by the way, but good witchcraft. She wasn't gothic. She wasn't.
She was
dark.
a white witch. This is against her Wednesday background.
Yeah, completely. And Tim Burton did it on purpose, because I remember there was a big Rolling Stone article on her, and I think 98, and she was she came off as a little bitter about being typecast, and she was thoroughly typecast. I mean, she's not wrong, or she wasn't wrong at the time.
Well, she seems to like these kind of creepy gothic kind of roles, though. Maybe she is typecast, but that's a lot. I've seen not all, but a lot.
You got to think about it as it was a different kind of time, though. You didn't want to. You as an actor, you feared being typecast because it limited your roles.
I mean, dude, we've been diehard Star Trek fans forever. How many times did we watch another sci-fi show and they're like, well, to add instant credibility, let's bring on a Star Trek actor.
Right. But that's only been out of the last 22 years. And that sounds like a lot of time, but they only started doing that.
No, Babylon 5, Stargate.
Yeah, 22 years. Well, Babylon 5 was trying to get... No, okay. No, I'm not arguing against you. I'm trying to argue with you, like to add on to your argument.
But your numbers aren't adding.
I know they're not. I'm trying to explain. Like, it became mainstream to do that within the last 22, 23 years. But it did start in the late 90s between like Babylon 5 and Star Trek and stuff. But that was still a niche thing.
Right, but that's why they ended up in each other's shows, is because that was where they could get work because they were typecast.
Right, but it got better because there was more things, more of that niche that was being produced.
Well, once you get the superheroes and Star Wars and Star Trek and other franchises getting big, then you could still kind of stay in the genre, but you had more opportunities. You know, I mean, look at Patrick Stewart. He's like, oh, let's typecast the bald commanding guy to sit in a chair again when he became Professor Xavier.
I mean, he was the only choice that could have ever made sense.
Really. But Johnny Depp was excellent in this. A little skittish.
He actually doesn't like his performance in this movie.
Really? Well, I mean, I actually thought he was pretty solid in it.
I do too. I agree with you. He doesn't, but yeah.
There's hints of that manic Johnny Depp character, like Jack Sparrow or Ed Wood or some of these others, where he's just kind of
Willy Wonka. That was a manic character.
Right. But again, you also have these Burton characters, this very dark background, like the opening scene where, you know, and of course he brings in all these fantastic older actors too in these roles.
Like she's only 40. She's younger than what we are now.
No, I'm talking about in this movie. All those older actors.
Yes.
Christopher Lee, Michael Gough, Ian McDermott, Richard Griffiths. You had Martin Landau at the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking through this movie and you're like, oh, well, I've seen this guy play an asshole in something. This guy's a dick in every single movie he's ever in. He's definitely not a good guy in this movie.
There might have been a meaning behind all of it. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Of course, and then Miranda Richardson's out there just crushing it. You know, dual roles in this movie.
This is her.
As Lady Van Tassel.
She played Rita.
The ultimate...
in Harry Potter, by the way.
Oh, okay. She is ultimately the true antagonist of the story. The Horseman is actually just the tool she uses to exact vengeance.
By the way, this ticket says $6 for a primetime evening opening, ticket for this movie. $6. $19.99.
$6. That still seems a little light back then, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
it feels a little light for me back then too. Yeah, I know. Considering that I would see a movie, as a matinee for $15 now.
Yes, you would.
It bothers me that she is 40 years old in this movie, and we're older than this. Yeah,
Miranda Richardson's 40?
Yeah, she's 40 in this movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I mean, she looks fantastic. By the way, 40 is not old.
No. But we saw this when we were not even 20 years old.
We were not even 20. We were in our teens.
Right.
But damn, good for her. So let's talk about a couple things here. So this is a movie that's about the Headless Horseman, but it's really a whodunit crime movie.
It's a revenge story.
And a revenge story. And, you know, Lady Van Tassel married into the Van Tassels as a revenge. She's a witch. Her sister is a witch. They were raised by a witch, were they not?
I think they were. Or like their family was driven out by the Van Tassels and the other who would become the wealthy elites.
They all played a part. They all played a part in you know, exiling their family, and Lady Van Tassel eventually worked her way back in. Her twin sister went more towards like the elemental witch level. She wasn't evil, but they both dabbled in witchery, witchcraftery. And the production in this movie is fantastic. The acting in this movie is wonderful. The motif of the movie, like with any Tim Burton movie, is just on point, like mwah. But the plot, a little too complicated. We summarized it saying that it's a revenge movie for her.
There's a lot of moving pieces in this.
There's too many moving pieces.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because first of all, we're dealing with a lot of Dutch names. Dutch names are complicated. They all started with Vans, most of them.
Not all, but
not all, but a lot. And so that confused the thing. And then there were some families that were killed because they helped the families of the aggrieved, or that created the aggrieved. Like the family at the very beginning of that trailer, that the family was an innocent family. He was the stableman for Van Tassel or something.
So basically what happened was that there was going to be this change in a large estate was going to possibly shake up.
Yes.
The status quo in Sleepy Hollow, and that with the exception of people who tried to interfere with the Horsemen, all the victims were beneficiaries or witnesses to the new will, which of
that we
course,
saw be signed at the beginning of the movie.
Correct. So you have this, and it's a bit complicated. There's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of ins and outs and a lot of what have yous mod. So
a lot of what have yous mod. Yeah.
But you also have the fact that Crane here is a man of science. And in a time where science is only just really starting to break out, or at least what they think it is, right? If this man had invoked the name of Benjamin Franklin to his superiors, he might have had a little more love. But clearly, the people in New York City more appreciated their power than they did justice. And Crane was a man who studied the latest science and techniques and medicine and whatnot. And of course, he's also the dweeby know-it-all who kind of, stirs the pot a little, and they're all like, "Get rid of this fucking guy."
Can I add on to that? Small rant, minor rant. This is a clear example, and I don't know if the movie intended on it, of the know-it-all person who put his ideology into science when science is not an ideology, but it is a methodology. and he used science as a replacement for ideology. And the people of Sleepy Hollow were like, you really don't know what's happening. And he's like, well, I don't believe what's happening because I am a man of science. And then he was completely proven wrong. And he had to delve in to this world of witchcraft and sorcery. And he had a nervous breakdown. Yeah. By the way, his mother was a flippin' witch. Like, you know, I get it.
Repressed memories.
Yeah, repressed memories.
Like
I
when
get it.
Katrina first looks at his hands, and he's like, "What are those markings?" He's like, "I've had them as long as I can remember." And of course, you get all these dream sequences where his mother seems to be very in touch with the earth and surroundings, and this ominous figure, which clearly is his father, who.
Man,
I mean, the
Bible.
question. The biggest mystery of this is how did those two get together in the first place?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, she probably was, I mean, I'm just inventing something, but she probably was of a family that was, you know, not of well means, but she was very pretty. And so she was able to adopt into, you know, the secure society of a secure family of religious background. And, you know, lo and behold, he finds out that she's into the heathenism, you know,
witchcraft,
which is proven in this movie, in this world, is real and every bit as dangerous as a gun, you know, a gun. So, yeah, it can't be ignored. It can't be, you have to deal with it on reality's terms. So,
but it does show that for me, it always looks like this is almost repressed memories.
No, not almost. You're absolutely correct. It absolutely is repressed memories.
Which is why I think he turns, and of course, after his mother is killed, maybe his father puts him on this course, but he becomes very much a man. And maybe it's almost in antithesis to his father, who I believe was a holy man.
Yeah, he absolutely
minister. Why he is more in rather than his father, who's a a minister, and versus his mother, who was a witch. So instead of either one of these spiritual ideologies, he goes hard science down the middle.
Right. And the ironic thing is, it's the hard science idea that's proven wrong. Like, that's the thing. Like, in this capacity. Witchcraft. Yeah. Well, that's the irony of it all. Like, he's proven wrong that his science is an ideology that is absolute. Which I thought was interesting. Because I freaking hate people using science as an ideology. It's a methodology. Everyone remember that. Now, let's continue. Convoluted plot. Brahm, yes. I think, was seriously underused. He was used in the bully capacity that we all expected him to be, but he should have been in the final battle, I felt.
Perhaps. But again, he's also a stumbling block to Katrina and Ichabod's relationship.
Yes.
So by him getting taken out about halfway through the story, you have a little bit more time for Ichabod and Katrina to build their relationship.
True. I like Casper Van Dien. He's just fantastic. Let's talk about Christopher Walken for a second.
You mean the uncredited Christopher Walken?
Yeah. Which I'm like, is that Chris? That's Christopher Walken. I'm sitting in the theater watching this. I'm like, that's Christopher Walken with filed teeth. Oh my God.
He doesn't say a thing in this movie either. Which
he growls and he says, shh. That's it.
But that's it. And it takes away one of his biggest superpowers, is that voice and speech pattern.
I know.
I'm not even going to try to do because
not many people can. Kevin Pollak can. He can do conversational walking. Kevin Pollak can.
Yeah, it's good.
But yeah.
But he's actually very good in this. He definitely plays a sadistic madman pretty well.
And I did the math. I think he was in his late 50s when he was cast in this.
Yeah.
We're 25, 26 years after this movie was filmed. Walken's in his 80s, I think. Oh, now I'm going to have to look that up.
Well, don't forget, though, Walken's not the guy doing the fighting.
No, I know that. But,
the person doing the fighting and the person actually doing the movements of the headless version of the Horseman is Ray Park. And Walken is 82.
He's 82. Thank you. Okay. So he was in his 50s, mid 50s when this happened, and that's fine. I remember Rosie O'Donnell freaking out about the idea of seeing a movie with Christopher Walken as a freaky bad guy and filed teeth during her talk show. She's like, I'm absolutely
terrifying in this.
He is absolutely terrifying. And there's a scene where he confronts the Lady Van Tassel and her sister when they're young girls and they're gathering firewood. And he goes, as he's hiding from American soldiers in 1779, because he was on the run after being
20 years.
Yeah.
Well, he's supposed to be a Hessian.
Yeah, he was a Hessian merc for the Brits, and so he was still on the run. He wasn't able to get out before the going got good. So I felt that his
position is given away by one of the girls who deliberately snaps the twig.
Yeah, and we know it was the future Lady Van Tassel,
and watches him get killed after he marks like 8 dudes.
Yeah. And she knows where he's buried. And the whole thing is she's able to have control over the Horseman because we saw the Horseman get buried with his head sitting on his body. And then Johnny Depp, Ichabod Crane, digs up the grave and sees, oh, there's no head here. This is a problem. This is an issue. Yeah. And that's how she got control of the Horseman to be able to do all of her dirty deeds. Mm-hmm. And we got to see...
And they were done for free, according to AC/DC.
If the plot was not so complicated with so many people, I would say this is an extremely good movie. I have to say, I still appreciate this movie. I like it. But they made it overly complicated. With too much exposition, with too many foreign, quote-unquote, foreign names. That just didn't... By the way, Casper Van Diem actually related to the Van Tassels in real life in Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. It's like there's Ichabod Crane, like these names were actually like pulled from historical.
These were all real people. These were all
mostly real people. Yeah,
like just for because the writer knew them, not because it really happened. But that's the thing. So,
are you sure?
All I know is I gotta have more cowbell. So, fellas, please. I wake up just like you, except I when I put on my pants
it's one leg at a time.
One leg at a
time. I make gold records.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
I enjoy this movie. Stylistically, it's good. It's creepy as hell. It captures the whole. So there's this big dance scene in this big, well, in the house of the Van Tassels, but it's dark and quiet as hell outside. You open the door and it's warm. You got orange, filters
Glow.
happening. It's, people are happy or talking and stuff. So I liked that juxtaposition. It was fun. It also, demonstrated how much nature was still a very big and scary thing in the late 1700s. When the United States was literally the United States. This is after the Second Continental Congress. Shays' Rebellion already happened.
This is after the not the Continental Congress. This is after the Constitutional Convention.
Yeah, the Second Constitutional Convention, and the adoption of the current Constitution.
This takes place right after George Washington dies.
Yeah.
So you're in the Adams presidency. We're now in the second president.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, New York at one time was the capital while they were building Washington. It was New York and Philly were both the capital at one point before.
Yep.
DC.
It was Adams when Adams moved into the White House in DC halfway through his presidency, or maybe a little bit later into his presidency. Later than half. But by the way, the Adams bio series.
Oh, fantastic!
Oh my God, amazing.
Paul Giamatti,
yeah. Just what, everyone watch that. That's amazing.
It is.
Just a tour de force, fantastic, amazing, and it makes you sad that people die. Like it makes you sad that life goes. Like you follow people's lives and just so well done. Yeah. There's Tim Burton. Is that his wife?
Oh my.
No, that's Lisa Marie Presley.
Yes. No, that was just Lisa Marie is her name, not Lisa Marie Presley. She was his wife before Helena Bonham Carter, and she played Ichabod's mother in this movie.
Oh, that's right.
And she was doing in Tim Burton movies before Helena Bonham Carter. When he got together with her, was in Tim Burton movies.
Yeah. All right, who is this? Oh, Christina Ricci. What? That's Vanessa Paradise. Okay. Now we're getting into the red carpet stuff, so fuck that. Just gonna go back to the
Needless to say, it was a very stylistic and fascinating version of the story where Ichabod again is not the dweeby school teacher with plans for designs on the wealth and riches of the Van Tassel estate. You have him still being kind of dweeby, but a constable from New York coming up to investigate these murders.
Yep.
He does get to the bottom of it, although with the help of Katrina and a few other of the townspeople who survived, because so many of them were murdered. So many.
Yeah.
But they eventually turned the tables on Lady Van Tassel, who, basically her family was evicted by the Van Garretts, who were the father and son who were killed at the very beginning of the movie. And their land was given to the Van Tassels, and the Van Tassels worked and grew and became very powerful. And, lady, or in this, a young woman grew up with vengeance and swore herself basically to the devil in order to get revenge, and the Horseman kind of helped her way up. And once an opening happened with Van Tassel's wife dying, she moves in, becomes the new wife, and stands to try to not only inherit the land, but also kill off all the people responsible for her family's misery. Good old-fashioned revenge stories.
So what's your rating on this?
I'll give it a solid B to B plus.
Yeah.
Because it was entertaining. It was creepy.
Yeah.
And the cinematography was great. And
it was still entertaining. Yeah, you're right. It was absolutely entertaining to watch. And I cut you off. I apologize.
And it was different, right? Before this was not, a total reimagining. Usually it was just some updated version or something. Like this was a complete reimagining. It changed, some of the characters. It really leaned into the horror aspect of the supernatural. It was also part slasher fic, too. Just going in, just slicing and dicing. But it was very creepy in a very Tim Burton way. And, on the heels of Batman and Edward Scissorhands and The Nightmare Before Christmas, it was just right there in the wheelhouse. So it's enjoyable. Is it the best version? I don't know. I don't think so.
It's
serviceable. It is a best. And again, it's a different take on it, which helps keep it fresh.
And I'll add this to it as well, because my biggest complaint was that it was too complicated. But that also adds incentive. If you like everything else about the movie, it gives you the ability to be able to connect more of the dots each time you watch the damn thing. And to try to make more sense out of it, if you have the brain like I do.
Well, part of the whole mystery is uncovering how everybody's
right
guilty in a lot of ways.
Right.
A lot of shitty things going on, lust and betrayal and avarice. Yeah. Basically, they were like just going to town on the 7 deadly sins in Sleepy Hollow, and
gross, by the way, man, so gross. I'm gonna say it. I appreciate our town's our city's, or I'm sorry, not our city, our country's Puritan roots. Because damn, outside of that, like, gross. Yeah.
Well, it was cool, and you saw a lot of love to people who had history in horror, like Christopher Lee and Michael Gough, and some of these guys who were in the old Hammer horror pictures. Kind of a bridge for Christopher Lee between his days playing Dracula and other horror films that helped get him to the new audiences, and then lined him up for both Saruman and Count Dooku, which gave the latter 2 decades of his career a massive boost and made him very recognizable to new audiences. Not to mention the fact that this movie is basically filled with every British asshole, like authority figure.
There are
figure in like so many movies.
Every British actor who specializes in playing an asshole. Let's put it that way. We love our British friends, by the way.
We do, but I meant like the roles that they played.
Yes.
So my apologies. I didn't put it right. Many of them either played villains or antagonists of a variety.
Asshole.
But a lot of them are. They play. A lot of them play these. I have no idea how they are as people. I do know that a lot of them either through typecasting or that's just what they enjoy to do, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Then again, one of these guys did take care of Batman. Three different Batmans.
Thoroughly, by the way. Thoroughly. Oh, would you like me to say it more properly as thoroughly?
I don't even know where you're going with this, dude.
All right. Well, on that note, let's just get this shit started. So here we go.
So you asked me what my rating was. What was yours?
Oh, I'm gonna actually, this is a rare agreement. I'm gonna go with the B. Just like you.
Good.
Again, I thought the execution style and the costume was fantastic. The costumes were amazing. The sets were amazing. The special effects were just top tier for the time. You can't really fault that. And extremely ambitious, too. You had literally a horse jumping out of a husk of a tree.
The special effects were fantastic. And, and it still holds up pretty well.
Yeah. So, but it was the convoluted plot of revenge that just felt too much. There were too many people involved. And you had to have a bunch of murders happen throughout the movie, but they started off with 5 deaths already, and that was complicated. So you had 5 deaths that you weren't familiar with when it was 2 deaths that you were already familiar with at the very beginning of the movie, but there were 3 people already dead by the time you go up there. So, it's just too complicated. So B. Everything else saved this movie from being a C. So, yeah. And I'll still rewatch it next year, come spooky season, because that's just what I do. So, on that note, everybody, until the next time, we are those sci-fi guys. I'm P.S. McKay. You guys keep dreaming. We'll keep working. So long, everybody.
And I'm DT Cavman, and up here on the high ground, I do have defenses against the Headless Horseman.
Oh, it's going to restart. I played it too long. Those Sci-Fi Guys is an independent broadcast by Alpha Sci Productions, produced by DT Cadman and PS McKay, ocean by music by Aiden under Creative Commons license. For more information on upcoming episodes, follow PS McKay on X at PS McKay or go to thosesci-fi-guys.com for past episode information. You can now find us on Spotify, so head on over there. But don't worry, you can still find us on Apple. We're also live on Rumble and YouTube. Be sure to leave a like and a comment on Facebook, and just let us know how we're doing. Thank you.